Hello everybody, hello. This is Debbie, from Teacher Success Search. How are you guys? I hope that you're all well. Yes, I am feeling very blessed, very tired, but very blessed. Right, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for, my clients. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. And I'm grateful for life. And I'm grateful that I am here today and I've got opportunities and experiences that I could share with my students. I would share with the world, because I also feel that we all have gifts, that we need to stop being selfish with our gifts and we need to share it. Another reason why we're selfish with our gift, it could also be because of fear, because of the feeling of not good enough. So therefore, we are not sharing our gifts. But it is easier to share it because there's someone out there that needs what we've got. So we need to share it. Anyway, what's happening in schools? Whoa. The year 12s, which are students who have not had exams. And last year they did just GCSE. This year they're preparing for A-levels. So they're doing the first year of A-levels and next year is the second year. What I've noticed is all the schools I have taught in the last 18 months, and it's been quite a lot regarding year 12s, they all seem to have something in common. Initially, I thought was one of the schools I was working in locally. I thought it was the school, the fact that there was a behavior issue in that school. So I did not realize that it was not only that school. The more I started going to other schools, teaching year 12, year 13s, I'm beginning to see a pattern. Not so much the year 13s, more the year 12s. And the pattern is the behavior issue. The behavior in terms of lack of motivation, also the behavior in terms of disruptiveness. We also have the situation where they're not focusing, and on top of that there's big mental health issues. And it is not only in certain schools, it's across the board. As I said, that's what I see right now that is common to most schools I have worked in. And as I said, I've worked in quite a lot, where the behavior of the year 12s is an issue. Today I had to actually give two students detention. One detention, it was a 90 minutes. The other one was a 30 minutes, a 30 or 60 minutes. Because the behavior, I've spoken to them after my lessons, I spoke to them on a one-to-one basis, and I'm still having that behavior pattern. The reason why I gave the detention today, that student were constantly disrupting my lesson. A small group, a group of 15 of them, I think. Constantly disrupting. She's not listening. I've said to her, come on, let's get it sorted. She's not listening. She was complaining she's cold, and the behavior just escalated. And, the other students were reading, and she's saying to them, oh, say that you don't know. Even though they know the answer, she's telling them to say that they don't know or don't respond. And I was having all of that, and I'm thinking, hold on. No, I'm not having that. I've told her she needs to get herself sorted. That was still up. In the end, I ended up giving her detention. And it's like she met me in the corner, Miss, why do I have a detention? I did not even engage with her. When she sort herself out, then she could actually come and talk with me. When she sorted herself out. But the thing about it is, this is a pattern I've noticed across the board. The behavior of the year 12. One of the reasons why I think we're now experiencing this type of behavior pattern, they've not had exams. The GCSEs, most of them were done, although it was tried to be done in an exam condition, right? But it wasn't the same. And the exam papers were marked by us educators. The students have not had the experience of real setup, although schools make it as real as possible. There is a different thing in terms of mindset, because when you know this is a real exams, the attitude would be different and the mindset is different. But although they knew it was a real GCSE, they also know that because of COVID, it was being marked by the teachers themselves. So they have never experienced the real pressure and real environment of exam. So as a result of that, they don't know how to navigate. They don't know how to behave. They don't know. There are no structures, because these were the students who were on, when we had the pandemic, they had no structure and they had to have quick structure in order to do exams. So this is some of the pattern we have in. And it's the mental health is affected, the behavior is affected, the attitude is affected, the mindset is affected. And it's big, because we as educators are now having the brunt of it. And one of the sad things is, as a year 12 student, that student is 16, 17, we do not expect this type of behavior, where they have not matured enough to realize some of the things they're doing is not acceptable. It doesn't matter how much I've been talking to them, some of them on a one-to-one basis. I've taken them outside, I've spoken to them after the class, I've spoken to them after lunchtime, just telling them that these are not accepted behavior. I understand that you have not had structure, but we're now back in school. Let's together start having a structure. Some students it works, some students it doesn't. So those are some of the challenges we've been having. And believe me, this part of this education system right now is extremely challenging, extremely tiring, extremely confusing, because just think of it, we as educators, we don't really know what to do. We're trying our best, and just think, the students are also confused. So it's a bunch of confused people. And one of the things is trying to address the mental health issue of the students. And as I kept saying, I am meeting them where they are in terms of me being mindful, but there's sometimes it's going way off. Today I felt that it went way off. Although I am still meeting my students where they are, it was still way off, because I was still having that negative behavior pattern and non-engagement. And one of the reasons why I think that particular student was slightly less engaged, she said she was feeling cold, the classroom was cold, etc., etc. As much as I understand that, it does not justify disrespectfulness and disruption. So in terms of that, those are some of the things that I had to be dealing with today from a year 12 student. And overall, we are still going through the students fighting and being very disruptive and noisy, and basically picking fights. They're picking fights because of issues with mental health. They don't know what to do. What's my win? Whoa. Oh, yes. One of it is, my sociology student, my psychology students, that we were looking at interference and forgetting. And the beautiful thing is they were able to connect it with themselves. So they're beginning to stop seeing the subject as outside of them and see it as an internal factor, because psychology is you. It's about your behavior pattern. It's about your mind. It's about your thought process. So that's my win, whereby the students are now beginning to embrace psychology as being part of them. And as a result of that, there are far more engagement. Also, they're beginning to see how psychology operates on a more holistic basis, other than, study of the mind, someone's mind's out there. No, it's study of your mind. How are we going to look at the forebrain? How are we going to look at the hindbrain? How are we going to look at your brain as a whole? How are we going to look at the environment playing a part in your behavior? So my win is the students, some students begin to look at it as it's them. And that's been quite nice. I must say the majority of them beginning to see it like that. And today was an aha moment for me, because when students ask me, I say, oh my goodness, miss, I understand it. Oh my goodness, I didn't like psychology, but it's making sense now. Yes, that's my aha moment. And as I say, educators and anyone else out there, you need to remember in every situation there is a positive. So find your aha moment, find your win, find your magic moment and celebrate it. Because it's there, but we need to look for it. I've also been to, because I've just had a counseling session with a client, and something I've said to her was she needs to fall in love with herself, because she doesn't know how to do that. So it's like sometimes we need to start having love affair with ourselves, because it starts with self. Only when we start having a love affair with ourselves and start loving ourselves, then would we start realizing that it is easy to love someone else. And it means that we are not totally emptying ourselves. We begin to know what love looks like and feel like, because we're giving it to ourselves. We see in ourselves as the most important thing and the most important person in the world. Only then could you start projecting out. First, love yourself. And then you know what love looks like. You could then love someone else. So I would love you to take those on board. Start loving yourself. It is not easy, especially if you have been programmed to love everybody else and be there for everybody else except for yourself. But one of the things you probably need to start with is mirror work. Looking at yourself in the mirror and reminding yourself of your beauty. It starts with self. So that's what I want you to go out. I want you to start loving yourself and see yourself as what loving, so that you know what love looks like. And then you will start giving yourself the care that you truly deserve. So remember, go out there and love yourself. Only then could you love someone else. It starts with you. Take care, stay blessed. Love you lots. Bye-bye. Love upon yourself. No one else can love you as you love you. Bye-bye.